What is up? It is me, Benicio, back at it with another video, episode 2. I wanted to, first of all, just say thank you to the 3 people who commented on my last video. I saw it the following morning and I really appreciated seeing people enjoyed it. XO9, Rye Reason, and Divad 360NS all commented. That was cool, I thought. You know what I mean? It means a lot to me, the 3 people, and the 25 views I got. So I thought that was cool. But I also wanted today to talk about consciousness. And I think people should know what I mean when I say consciousness. But to further elaborate, I don't really mean whether you're literally awake or not. Talking about like being up and being alive. I'm talking about consciousness within the world and dominating your mind. And I don't think most people are really conscious in their day-to-day lives. They just go through it just like the last one. Every day goes by really kind of unappreciated, not really in a negative sense, but unappreciated, where they're in a time loop. They're just going through life. They're not thinking about anything really. I know I'm really reiterating, but it's true. And people see so many things on social media nowadays that kind of desensitize them. And you try to have a conversation with somebody, and they don't really in something you think is cool, and it's like, oh yeah, that's cool, and like, oh, you don't think. They say it in a tone where they think it's cool, but they're just getting you to shut up. Well, do you think it's really cool, or do you not? And it's like, well, they've seen so many videos be desensitized by past experiences of seeing stuff through the lens that nothing really affects them anymore. And you realize this when you have conversations with people who's really conscious, you know? And sometimes you have to break down a wall to get to someone and have a real conversation with them, where they're not just doing small talk or talking to you like a stranger or anything like that. I work in sales, so I personally experience this a lot. When you work in sales and you're trying to sell somebody something and they're talking back to you, that is an unconscious conversation, in my opinion, most of the time. You're not really talking to them as a human being. You're not really trying to get to know them. You're not really having a soul-to-soul conversation. You're just trying to transaction through each other and then go on about your ways, right? However that works out for the seller or the buyer, whatever happens, right? A true conscious conversation comes through friendship, and relationships, and love, most importantly, right? And where do we see love mainly? Typically, we see it in families. Family is very important. That's number one, okay? And I think another thing that affects consciousness is might be controversial, but is substances or alcohol or anything like that. I think these affect your mind in a way, for certain people especially, where they affect your consciousness and ability to have regular conversations with their loved ones. Sure, you could have conversations with random strangers, like I was talking about the salesman example, but it's not nearly the same as a conscious conversation with someone that you know and you trust. And you see this with your friends. You could talk about pretty much anything with them, right? And when you know people long enough and you break so many barriers down, there's nothing that can't be talked about. You could talk about literally anything and it won't matter to you guys, because that's what friends do and that's what friends are. And to quote somebody that I won't name right now, if you had a friend, they were never really a friend. And that's the truth as well. But I think that's really all I have to say, really. Conscious conversations are really rare nowadays, and actually talking to somebody with a real soul is really rare nowadays, because you have to break down these barriers and get to who they really are as a true human being. And a lot of people have their walls up like this, very strict, and they don't talk to anybody about who they really are. And I think that is a result of social media and the internet, and that Yeah, because a lot of people who have their walls up like that and they don't talk to money in real life, they use the internet to do that for them. So when they go out in real life, they don't need that same feeling because they just do it online. And online is just not a very good place, in my opinion, if you know what I mean. So yeah, recap. Um, be real with people, I guess. I think that's in my bio. I think. Um, I think less people. I think people would benefit from less time on social media, myself included. And third, do your best to have conscious conversations with people where you're being real. And I think that's more normalized now compared to a couple of years ago where everyone was scared to say things. Don't be afraid to express your opinions and express how you feel, even if it's seen as controversial. Things that are seen as controversial are is the media trying to push an agenda anyways. So, and we've seen media's push a lot of different agendas one way or the other. It's usually not the way that ends up winning. The thing that always wins is the truth and how you really feel. Your truth, whether people like it or not. If I'm having a conversation with somebody, I'd like someone to express their truth. I wouldn't want someone to suppress how they really feel. Whether it's their political views or their opinion on my hat. You know what I mean? I want someone to be as real as possible with me, whether that's a friend, whether that's a stranger. I want someone to tell me what their real opinion is. And I think lying is a really bad thing. But I'm getting sidetracked here. It's kind of ironic due to the channel name. But yeah, that's all I have to say for today on April 19th, 2026. And yeah, love you guys.